We are going to have these functions in two different types. One is user defined functions and other one is predefined functions. So once you complete this particular course, you will be able to uh, know what are predefined functions in C programming and how you can create your own function by following some simple strategies. That is nothing but the user defined functions. So all these things also we will become familiar once we successfully complete this course. Okay, so the syllabus, when we talk about this, so what do we have inside this PPS course, programming for problem solving course, and how the session plan I have done. I mean, in how many sessions I'm going to complete this entire course means, like I need around 50 sessions. So there may be a possibility of more 2 to 3 sessions that we can consider. So around 50 sessions I need in order to fulfill this programming for problem solving course. So the first unit, here I have given only the titles of the units. So the first unit name is, yeah, it is having some sub chapters inside your first unit. Yeah, introduction to programming, idea of algorithm, and representation of algorithm. So these three chapters we are going to cover under this unit 1, and in order to complete all these three chapters I need like 12 sessions, because this is the inception point. I need more time to discuss all these concepts, and as you people, you are very new to this programming, I have to go very slowly. That is the reason why I have taken 12 classes in order to complete your first unit. So then inside your second unit, we are going to discuss the control structures and arrays. Okay. Even if you don't understand, okay, any of the terminologies over here, you don't bother about it. Because your these computers and programming languages, it is very new to you. I mean, I guess, I mean, not many, but a few of you might have taken the extra training, or few of you might have this C programming in your elementary level as well, like in your 6th class if you are from CBCS and all. Maybe this subject is there in your 7th class, 8th class subjects, isn't it? 7th class, 8th class, um, standards. So if you have the knowledge, it is very good, it is well and good. But if you don't have the knowledge, even though, don't feel bad or don't feel what we call conservative. We are going to discuss all these concepts with full clarity over here. I am going to take each and every concept and I am going to explain each and every concept with full clarity. How we have done everything inside your bridge courses, how I have shown each and every concept practically inside your bridge courses, in that same way we are going to deal with all the practical stuff, theory stuff over here. Okay, so what are the control structures? So we have a separate chapter dedicated to it, and arrays, we have another chapter dedicated to it. So in order to complete the second unit, I may be taking 8 sessions. Okay, so then the third unit, basic algorithms, functions, passing arrays to functions, how we can pass the arrays to functions. So in order to complete this third unit, I need another 8 sessions. Okay, the complete subdivision and internal concepts we will discuss in upcoming slides, I mean further slides. So here I have given the consolidated number of sessions, consolidated data to you, so that you can understand out of 50 sessions, I mean out of 50 sessions, every unit is dedicated to how many sessions, and in how many sessions we are going to complete the entire course. Okay, so the next thing is unit 4. Here we are going to discuss the concept of recursion and structures. Okay, another important concept, these structures we are going to discuss inside your fourth unit. And I need like 12 sessions, because this recursion, it is somewhat confusing, and I need to repeat this 2 to 3 times so as to make you aware. Okay, so that you people will understand it thoroughly. So that's the reason why I have taken extra classes over here, and I'm going to wind up this fourth unit in 12 sessions. Okay, your fifth unit, here we are going to discuss about pointers and file handling stuff. What is a file and how we are going to play with it, all those things we will see inside your fifth unit. And to cover this fifth unit, I have taken 10 sessions. So on the whole, if you add all these, so this is 30, this is another 30, sorry, this is 20, this is another 20, 40 plus 10, like 50 classes. I need 50 classes in order to complete this PPS course. Okay, so in detail inside every unit, what do we have, that we can see over here. So the first unit, as I said, introduction to programming. So introduction to computers as well, we can say this first unit. Okay, so introduction to computers. Inside a computer, what devices we are going to have, and how a computer will become a working platform. Okay, with having all these devices. Okay, what is disk, what is memory, what is processor, okay, where a program is stored and how we are going to execute that program. All these things we discuss inside your first unit itself. Okay, to cover this first chapter, introduction to programming or introduction to computers, I need 4 sessions. Okay, excluding this introductory session. Okay, I need 4 sessions in order to complete this chapter. Then we have idea of algorithm, and first of all we have to know what is an algorithm and how we are going to write the algorithm and how we are going to use the algorithm to solve logical as well as numerical problems. So to understand all these, I need 2 sessions. Okay, I need 2 sessions. Then the third chapter, representation of algorithm. Okay, the flow chart, what is flow chart, pseudo code, and different examples we are going to do inside this flow chart, pseudo code stuff. And then we start discussing about what is source code, what is object code, what is executable code. Okay, then what is a variable, what relation do we have between a variable and the computer memory, and how many types of errors we have, syntactical, logical. Okay, what is compilation, what is execution. All these things we study inside this third chapter of your first unit. And in order to complete this third chapter, I'm taking, because we have so many things to discuss over here, I'm taking like 6 sessions. So on the whole, in 12 sessions, I'm going to complete your first unit. Okay, then the second unit, it is the control structures and arrays. We have to discuss about control structures and arrays. It is purely related to your C programming stuff. How we are going to frame the control structures and how we are going to do the branching, okay, conditional branching, and how we are going to evaluate and write and evaluate loops. All those things we are going to discuss inside this control structures. To complete these control structures, I need 4 sessions. Okay, 4 classes. Then arrays. Okay, what is an array? Okay, how we can initialize, how we can define, declare, initialize an array, and how we can access an array. Okay, what are the different types of array, like 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. All these things we study over here. And then what is the difference between a character array and a string, that also we are going to discuss inside this arrays chapter only. So complete arrays stuff I'm going to wind up, I'm going to clear in 4 sessions. So on the whole, to complete the second unit, I need 8 sessions. Okay, so then we have the third unit. So again, it is divided into 3 chapters. Basics of algorithms. Yeah, here also we'll do some of the algorithm stuff, and along with that we also have to know what is searching, what is sorting, and how we can frame the algorithms for searching and sorting techniques, and what is bubble, what is bubble sort, selection sort. Okay, what is binary and linear search, finding the roots of a given quadratic equation. If a quadratic equation is given in mathematics, okay, there is a procedure to find out the roots of that quadratic equation, isn't it? So finding the what we call determinant, and using the determinant, giving the role, I mean how the roots are going to be, okay, giving that thing. Yeah, we are going to do all that stuff inside your third unit, first chapter. And for this I need 3 sessions. Okay, for this to complete, I need 3 sessions. And then we have functions. Basically, what is a function? I told you there are 2 types of functions. Built-in functions, that is nothing but predefined functions, and we also have user-defined functions. Okay, about built-in, user defined, everything we discuss related to these functions and this parameter passing techniques. It is an LAQ, long answer question, 7 marks question, parameter passing techniques. This also we are going to discuss inside this functions chapter only. Okay, then passing arrays to functions, this is called by reference. Okay, this is also one of the way of what we call parameter passing technique. So in order to complete all these functions concept, I need around yes 12 sessions. Here there is some, yeah, here we can make it as 5 5. So because these are some vast concepts, I need 5 and 5 classes, and here I need 2 classes. So on the whole I need 12 classes in order to complete. Okay, so this is how we planned your third unit. Then fourth unit, we have recursion and structures. Two things we have to complete in your fourth unit. So what is recursion? How we can write the recursive code in your C program, that we are going to discuss in this recursion chapter. Okay, we also do some of the examples using this recursion, that is finding the factorial of a given number and finding the Fibonacci series. Yes, of course, this Fibonacci sequence, it is a new term to you. Yeah, that we are going to discuss in your fourth unit, hopefully. So for this to complete, I need 4 sessions, 4 classes. Then immediately we start the concept of structures. What is a structure? How we can declare, define, and use this structure in our C programming. All those things we discuss over here. Okay, again, this array of structures, it is an important question. Array of structures, it is an LAQ question. So here again I need 4 more sessions in order to complete this structures concept. So on the whole I need 8 sessions to complete the 4th unit. And the last unit, 5th unit we have, and over here, yes, I need like 8 sessions to complete this 5th unit. Yeah, we are going to discuss, I think we said 10, right? We said 10 sessions in order to complete the 5th unit. So over here, yeah, we have to have 10 sessions, and in order to complete these 10 sessions, here I am taking 6 and here I am taking 4. Like this I am taking. Just I will have this correction in your PPT. So pointers to complete, I need 6 sessions, because it is a vast concept, and moreover, whatever subjects we are going, I mean whatever courses we are going to learn in your upcoming years, like in your second semester, we are going to have an important subject, important course, data structures and algorithms, and everything, believe me, inside your data structures related to pointers only. So if you are good in pointers, ultimately this pointers concept is going to help you in fulfilling that data structures course as well. So many of the BE courses, they are quite interrelated. So don't think that if you have finished one particular course, nowhere you are going to use that course in future. Definitely many of the courses whatever we are going to complete at the basic level, they are going to help you in your advanced level of BE as well. Okay, so as this pointers concept, it is entirely related to your data structures course in your third semester, that is second year first semester, or we call it as third semester. Okay, then we also study about files concept, what is a file and how we can store and retrieve the data from a file. That things we are going to discuss in your 5th unit as the second chapter, and for that I need 4 sessions. So overall, in order to complete your 5th unit, I need 10 sessions. So to complete the entire syllabus of your PPS course, I need 50 sessions. Okay, then we have some of the readings. I mean, these textbooks, suggested readings are nothing but your textbooks. What textbooks we have to follow in order to prepare for this programming for problem solving course. So many of the times I'll be giving the complete notes, and you can even visit my blog. Yes, this is my blog. If you I will give this I will post this address in your WhatsApp group so that you can visit this blog. So this is my blog. So here you have the complete course related information. Okay, here I have other courses as well, like network security, data structures, and the Java course, other courses as well. But the course which is of your concern is programming for problem solving, as you can see here. The course which is of your concern is programming for problem solving, and here I have given the web references. You can visit these websites in order to have the idea. Okay, in order to have the idea or in order to practice the programs, you can visit these websites. Here I have overiq.com, includehelp.com, then dataflare.com. All these are some prominent websites which will provide the content associated with this C programming, C language. Hopefully you will do and you will follow these references as well, not only my classes. Then we have this unit wise important questions. I have selected unit wise few of the SAQs, few of the LAQs, and I've not only selection, I have solved them as well. I have solved them. Yeah, here you will find that one, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5. All these you can find, and these question selection and question solving I have done as per the AICTE regulation. Okay, so yeah. Then we have lab programs. Yeah, as I said, it is a lab oriented subject and we are going to have a lab as well. And inside lab, the complete programs we have to complete in 11 weeks, 11 to 12 weeks. And that last week we are going to conduct the lab internal. So the complete programs we have to wind up in 11 weeks, and what sort of programs we have to practice in every week that I have kept over here. So you can refer this as well. So all the week wise programs I have kept over here, and I suggest you, wherever you have free time from this theory classes, practical session also you have to do in order to get the thorough knowledge of this particular course. So without program practice, you will not understand anything. So I need a guarantee from you people that you are going to practice these concepts, whatever we are going to discuss in the classroom, immediately on your laptop or on your mobile, to get the idea, to get the more idea about those concepts. So this is something. Yeah, here I kept the unit wise notes. As you can see, PPS syllabus according to the AICTE. So what syllabus we have? Yeah, inside theory, what concepts? Yeah, whatever I kept inside your slides, that same syllabus it will show over here. See, this is your syllabus. I'm just zooming in. So AICTE model curriculum, and subject name programming for problem solving. This is the code, credits 3, 70 external, 30 internal, everything it is giving over here. Course objectives, course outcomes. Okay, then unit wise syllabus. Unit wise syllabus, then suggested reading, what books we have to follow. See, in these books, yeah, along with my notes, you can refer this Balaguru Swami textbook, and as well as, yeah, I will go to the slides. Yeah, this Balaguru Swami textbook, it is one of the good book in order to understand C programming language and ANSI programming language, and he is an Indian author basically. Balaguru Swami, he is an Indian author. Yeah, Gottfried, this book also there with me, and I have uploaded on my blog as well. You can refer this book as well. Then yeah, these books you can follow along with my notes in order to understand your subject, PPS subject. Okay. So next is what type of tools we use. Tools are nothing but what type of what we call, where we are going to execute our program, where we are going to see the output of our programs. Means we basically use inside your labs, we use these tools. Okay. Turbo C++. So this version or this version, sometimes the icon will come like this and sometimes the icon will come like this. Both these two things will represent Turbo C only. So Turbo C++ compiler we use in order to execute our programs. Okay. Then I suggest, if you have a personal laptop with you, I suggest you to use this Dev C++. Okay. It is a complete IDE in order to execute your C programs. So not only the execution, not only the compilation and execution, you will also have an idea of project development if you use this IDE. How the projects will be developed in real-time environment, in companies, in software MNCs. That idea you will gain. So this IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment. And your Dev C++ is one such IDE. one such IDE. So whatever programs we are going to execute, whatever execution part I'm going to do in my online class, that I will do on this Dev C++ only. I will show you, I will make you aware of this environment as well, how the Dev C++ environment is going to be. That thing I'm going to show you. Okay. So generally I don't have this Turbo C++ because my laptop will not support the Turbo C++ environment, because it is an outdated environment, Turbo C++. So if you have a modern computer, a new computer like i5, i3 something, and if you have some 4 GB, 6 GB RAM, and I suggest you to go with this Dev C++ only. Okay. So it is a modern tool in order to execute the programs. And once you have the idea of this IDE, Dev C++ over here, the same IDE we are going to use in your data structures part as well, data structures course as well. So having the idea of this Dev C++ at the inception level, it is very good. Okay. Once you have the idea, the same tool you can use for data structures as well. So this is, yeah, Dev C++ environment I have to show. So for that, I will close this PPT. Yeah, I will minimize all these things. Yeah, here we have the Dev C++. As you can see, this Dev C++, yeah, it will open like this. So in order to open a new file, go to File, select New, Source File. So like this it will open, and here we can write the program. So like this I'm writing my program. Yeah, everything, whatever I'm writing over here, each and every single thing is having a meaning, and you will understand that meaning, and you will also able to write the programs once we complete this PPS subject. So just I am demonstrating a simple program to you. Yeah, because we are not using, so the void main of void, then I'm writing a simple statement. So to print hello world on the output screen. So like this. Okay. So before this you can have system of CLS. Then you also have that's it. So this is my simple program to print this hello world on the output screen. To print this hello world message on the output screen. So how we are going, yeah, after writing the program, we have to save the program that I am doing now. Save with some test.c. Okay, I have given my program name as test.c. So now compile the program. The program got compiled successfully. Here you can see 0 errors. If there are any errors, it will list that error count over here. 0 errors and 0 warnings. Then go to execute and run. See, as you can see, you will be able to see this output, hello world. So all these things we will discuss step by step, just to demonstrate the stuff, how the programming is going to be. I am writing this simple program, compiling the program and executing the program. Throughout this semester, inside this PPS subject, programming for problem solving subject, we are going to do this only. We are going to write the programs, we are going to execute the programs, and we are going to check the output. And in order to write those programs, many things you have to understand. So those understandings we are going to have inside your theory classes. Hopefully you got this point. So this is how your Dev C++ environment is going to look. So then we have your Turbo C++ environment. So that is going to be something like this. A blue screen will come. On that we are going to have these menu bars. And from here only we are going to select a new file, and here only we are going to write the coding and all we are going to do. So this is your Turbo C++ environment. So I told you it is an outdated stuff. So better to use the Dev CPP only, Dev C++ only, because that Dev C++ will not only help you in first sem, but also it is going to help you in your third sem, where we are going to study about data structures. Hopefully students, you got many of the things from this session. If you have any queries, any suggestions to improve the audio video quality of this particular online class, or if you have any other things, if you have any doubts, any improvements from your side, you can feel free and you can post all those things inside the comment section. Okay, I will consider your comments, I will read your comments, and I will consider your comments, and I will try to improve the efficiency of this class as much as possible. definitely not only a one-sided what we call um, explanation. I need your suggestions. I need your feedback. For that, I need to clarify your doubts in your physical, I mean, in your virtual presence. To do that, we'll be conducting an online what interactive sessions. If this online classes continue, we'll be conducting interactive meeting sessions. uh, there you can ask me the doubts and I will clarify your doubts. We can have the interaction, in short I mean to say. Okay, we can have the interactions using different online platforms. Okay, like we have Zoom, Google Meet, okay, Cisco WebEx, many platforms we have. We'll select one suitable one, and we'll have the face-to-face interaction or one-to-one interaction over there, so that you can clarify your doubts, so that you can give the feedback and other stuff, hopefully. So thank you, students. For now, we are discussing only this much, and I have given the complete idea of my course. Inshallah, in my next session, I'll be starting your first unit. Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much.